Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to Bitch Sesh. I'm Casey Wilson.
I'm Danielle Schneider. This is a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills breakdown show.
And I'll tell you guys, we have two guests on deck. I mean, they're raring to go.
Oh, God. They have called this. The guests have said that this will be the best episode ever. And I think we're up to the challenge.
I think one of them has called to make this episode a two-parter because of the controversial statements he has
you guys,
to do with Lyme disease.
You guys are in for a real treat and also maybe some anger.
Yeah.
I hope that's okay.
This will take down his career. Anyway, Danielle, we have some news in the Housewives world.
There's so much new news this week. It's as if the Housewives could print their own paper this week that I would read from cover to cover.
I think that's kind of what we're doing for the modern era. Like, everyone's gathering around the radio listening to us talk about the news of the day.
We're a regular Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Oh, Danielle.
I am old, everyone. I'm very old.
Not as old as Mr. Girardi when he was like, well, Perry Mason.
I know, everyone was like, who's that? And these women are 50 if they're a day.
One of them can't hear.
But... guys, a lot of news. First of all, Casey watched a program. I did not get
program. I'm trying to get the name right. It's Kim Richards and her daughter, Kimberly, are on a Lifetime show called The Mother-Daughter Experiment. And what an experiment it is.
Tell me everything.
They've thrown these horrible mother-daughter pairs in like a mansion, a foreclosed mansion, you know, in Kenyatta, Flint Ridge or somewhere. And it is so upsetting. I got to say, Kim and her daughter are the best of the bunch.
Really?
Yes. One of the mother-daughter pairs, one girl got married when she was 17 and her mother has now fallen in love with her husband. So they're working out a lot.
Is that Courtney Stodden? That's real tough stuff. I mean, that is some stuff that shouldn't be on TV. It should be in the hospital.
It's all celebrities, but then they'll throw in some rogues. They're like, and Shar Jackson. I'm like, how do I remember Shar?
I know who she is, and that just shows you where my brain is. She is the baby mama of Kevin Federline, who was once married to Britney Spears. That's a long connection to celebrity.
I know. And the way they get to it, she has to like say it because, you know, clearly they asked her like, how are you a celebrity? And she's like, I was caught up in that whole Britney Kevin thing. That's her claim to fame. What else is going on?
So much stuff. Selma Blair and David Foster went out on a date this week. Us Magazine covered the whole thing. And weirdly, Caitlyn Jenner showed up. So it was a real ragtag team happening.
Motley crew. I mean, David Foster has never met a single mom he didn't want to go after.
Right?
Yeah.
And Selma Blair, you're better than that. I know I've said that David Foster is the sexiest house husband, but please.
But it's also weird for Caitlyn Jenner to show up and she's playing Chris. It's so much is going on. And then Kathryn's involved in the OJ thing. OJ's just really like...
he's still with us all in this weird way. That murder haunts us, as I've said, and haunts this town.
It does.
Another thing
next?
Another new news is...
great segue.
Kyle, her pilot, which for people that don't know, that's like a TV show that she's created, is going to series, I believe. It got picked up.
A TV Land show.
TV Land.
I myself have been on a TV Land show. Maybe everyone saw Retired at 35. Great program. That was actually very fun, but I couldn't continue the series because I was doing happy endings. But she's got a show. She's got more going than a few of us at this table.
I was going to say, it is very hard. As a person who has tried to sell many a show, recently in fact, it's hard to get one's face on the television screen.
I got to tip my hat.
So to get it picked up, I mean, I can't wait to see the hijinks and who's going to play Kim and Kyle Richards. I'd like to throw my hat in the ring.
Portia and Farrah. I'm sure.
We'll play the younger versions. Portia's going to make her way onto that show. No way she's not going to.
She'll be there.
But I'd like to be, and Matt McConkey would like to be in that writer's room as he put his hat in for that a long time ago.
And I can only hope they'll consider it. There was one more piece of news. Oh, God.
Villa Blanca.
Villa Blanca is having some trouble. Lisa's having, apparently, no one wants to buy Lisa Vanderpump's Villa Blanca in Beverly Hills, and that's no surprise.
It's a cesspool, as we have said before. And there were reports, as I read the kind of like reports of like from the health department, that there might have been a bird infestation, is what I'm reading.
Also, Brooks was spotted thanks to an investigative reporter. You guys are sending us so many hot tips.
Thank you for all of them.
It's insane. Oh, someone else sent us, Brooks was spotted in Carmel, Indiana. A mother and daughter, it seems, were...
Is it the sister city to Carmel, California?
That's what I think. Someone has tweeted us a text conversation between, I believe, maybe mother and daughter. It says Abby Eba. She says, Brooks is at the bar. Stop. Where are you? At Eddie Merlot's. He is at some finance dinner. I don't have trouble believing that.
But who at this point is going to give money to that scoundrel?
Scoundrel. And the last piece of news is that tonight, and this, of course, comes out tomorrow, but I hope everybody watches the sit-down one-on-one interview between Andy and Kim Richards.
Our beloved Kim.
God.
We haven't gotten our eyes on it yet because we're here with you people, but I can't wait to see it.
And you guys really, really weighed in about Muhammad's penis. And
some of you saw it. Most of you saw it. I got a lot of emojis of eggplants. So that meant people saw it.
Yeah, people saw it and loved it. And the other thing you guys were really excited about, and I can't tell you what joy this has brought me, and we're going to bring on our guests in a second to help us through this, but I've mentioned Whispering Angel and my most likely alcoholism, my addiction to it.
It's the beginning of a problem.
Oh, absolutely.
Not full blown
I
yet.
think we're middle way through a problem.
Yeah.
But
I'd like to see how it plays out, though.
You will. You will. We're all watching it in real time. But I'm addicted to Whispering Angel. And I thought, what better way to bring out our guests than to do a proper rosé taste test?
Yes, good idea.
One of our guests has not even tasted the angel. She has not whispered to him yet, and see how he feels. So let's bring out our guests.
Yes. Our first guest is
Miss Amy Barham. She's a writer, a dear friend of mine, British.
So you know she's classy.
And she's got a lot to say about Ladies of London. Sidebar.
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
We're so excited to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So you have some word on the Whispering Angel, so I hear.
I have a little word on the Whispering Angel.
Go ahead.
The angel was whispering to Casey and I on Sunday, just very quietly. And
While we were watching our children play on the floor.
And I was telling Casey that we used to drink Whispering Angel back in the day in London, but it was not called Whispering Angel.
Name change?
And I could not recall what it was called. So I went and had a little scoot around on Google. And
Scoot around.
I found that all traces of what it was called seem to have been removed. So I go back to the vineyard, and it now says that it's
Diabolical.
named after two angels that sit in a chapel on the vineyard grounds, and it just came to the owner of the vineyard. So I'm like, I'm not buying this. So I keep going and I keep going, and I enlist my husband.
Girl.
This was last night. We had nothing on. And my husband is like master Googler, and he finds this brilliant article where basically a guy in Boca Raton,
My hometown. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Is this your father?
home of Alien 2, right?
Alien 2, what?
Home of Aileen, too.
Home of
Oh, Alien 2. I was like, Alien 2? What?
Alien 2.
No, it is
that, right?
Yes, the hometown of Alien 2. Yes, that's correct.
So he is the son of the owner of the vineyard that makes Whispering Angel, and he decided a couple of years ago to import it to America, and it's now become this giant thing and is known as Hampton's Water on the East Coast.
Hampton's Water. Okay,
like
well, a lot
it.
of you are asking me where you can get it again. Not making money on this, but I'd love to. Target, Gelson's, Jones on 3rd if you're out here.
And obviously, Boca Raton,
Captain Cork or whatever that like Bevmo kind of knockoff is.
all housewives' good things come from Boca Raton. It is like a place that's like grows housewives, I feel like.
Speaking of a place that grows housewives, our next guest is from Calabasas.
No,
Kardashian
I know
country.
he's not from Calabasas, but
I'm not from there. I reside there now.
have they changed Calabasas to be spelled with a K for Kardashian country?
Just for those who are wondering, all the Kardashians do live in Calabasas. That's where their television show is set. I see their show filmed regularly there. It's really exciting.
Have you ever been on it, Jerry?
Oh, wait, we should introduce our.
I'm Jerry O'Connell.
Introduce
Hi.
yourself.
Hi, I'm Jerry. Hi, I'm Jerry. I'm so excited to be here, girls.
Jerry is a huge, for all of you guys that watch What Happens Live, you know that Jerry is a huge Housewives fan.
He is currently wearing a T-shirt, wearing it well, I may add,
Yes.
that says Mazel on it.
Well, let me tell you what happens. I'm friends with Andy Cohen, and anytime someone cancels, this is not a joke. He usually calls me in a rush and says, "Somebody canceled today. I need you here in an hour." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there.
From Calabasas?
Well, no, I work a lot in New York. I was in
That's
New York
right.
last week, and that's why I was on with Lala Kent of Vanderpump Rules.
Yes,
I know
we know
don't.
her very
I know we
well.
don't talk about Vanderpump Rules on this show. This is strictly a Housewives show. I'm sorry to.
We did an
We've
expose.
touched on it, but yeah.
From another show on the same network. But it's always fun to go there, and my wife really got me into the Housewives. It was something that I guess Orange County started 8 years ago,
Yes.
Yeah.
and it was just.
And a gorgeous 8 years it's been. Happy anniversary, everybody.
It went by in a flash, and yet I felt every day.
We have a television in our bedroom, which every counselor and therapist says don't do. But
As do I.
So do I.
we watch a lot of. I find that my wife and I bond over it a lot.
And Jerry, I'm going to stop you right there. Your wife is the heart-stoppingly beautiful Rebecca Romaine.
Correct. Who a lot
Nay,
of
Stamos.
who interesting. That
As
name has a
you
bit
guys
of
didn't get to see this, but Jerry
part of
definitely flinched.
well, I thought we were going to talk about the Housewives.
You're like, I didn't know I was in the
realize-
fucking hot seat.
But it's a big week. Obviously, I have been hearing that name a lot because Fuller House is out on Netflix
You're the one that's advertising it. We haven't
now.
mentioned it once.
Well, the second it came out, we all had to watch it.
I did watch just the first episode. Anybody else?
No, I didn't
yet.
take a gander yet.
I was joking. I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Is it?
All right. Of course you haven't watched it, Jerry.
I mean, all I care about is did my wife's ex look hot? I mean, should I be? Is this over for
He's
me?
100. It's fine.
I'll tell you what, Jerry, you're looking great. And Jerry just told us the funniest story. He is currently not guest starring. You're on the show Mistresses.
I'm on a show called Mistresses. It's on ABC. I'm so sorry. I don't know what night of the week, but it's coming out this summer. But I told a funny story about how it's a very sexy show. A lot of sex happens in the show. And, I'll be doing a scene with one of the terrific actresses in it. And, they'll say, hey, Jerry, can we talk to you for a sec? And they'll pull me to the side and they'll go, how do you feel about trying this scene without a shirt?
This makes me so happy because this stuff happens to women all the
I
time. And I
know.
love that you're being
Right.
objectified this way.
Well, it's just, and I'll be like, well, yeah, I'll do it. But I mean, this is a scene that's taking place in a mall. We're standing in the middle of a mall.
People take off their shirts in the mall all the time.
they're
Like
like,
when
"Oh."
they're having a panic attack.
or a heart attack.
4150? What do they call that when they put you in the loony bin? Is it 4150? When they're methed out and freaking out and they stop traffic on the 101?
And Jerry, do they have to twist your arm or are you like already taking it off?
They're mid taking off as they're telling.
No, I mean, I take it off also because like all eyes are sort of on you when that happens. It's just sort of like, well, are you going to do it? Like, and then everyone looks at their clock, everyone looks at their watch, and they're like, because we need to know, like, we're losing the light
Pressure.
here.
I will say, I know Casey
And
says
then-
that this happens to every
Losing
woman,
the
but
light.
has not happened to me.
Oh God, no. When I said every woman, I meant Jerry's wife and not me.
But last time it was weird because I was brought into like a private room with the director, and he said, "Take off your
Feeling
pants."
very Coco from Fame. Très jolie, Coco, très jolie, take it off.
I was joking about the pants part, but not about the shirt part. But Mistresses this summer are gonna be great. Sexy
Yes. Guys, we're going to do a quick little taste test. Okay.
Taste test.
Good.
I can't partake in the taste test because I have to work later this evening.
So sorry for your loss.
But I'm going to do it through your eyes, all of your
Through our
eyes.
palates.
So we don't know what this is.
The
right
first rosé, we're going to do a rosé taste test. I think we've all had enough of that Vanderpump Sangria shit.
No, thank you.
So I'm
Is
starting
it
us
really
off.
crap?
Well, this is called America's favorite white Zinfandel, says the sticker. Behringer's. Fruity and refreshing.
Okay.
My aunt has gotten me into this.
Okay.
Here we go.
Whoa.
That is sweet.
Is it?
Yeah,
What
it's
would
got a
you-
little bit of a zing to it.
In housewives terms, because we've tried, Casey and I have tried every housewives wine. What would you compare it to as for like a housewife wine?
It's up there. It's with the sangria. It's so sweet. It's
Is it
like
really
sticky,
sweet?
syrupy sweet.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Whispering Angel, and I'll just put this out there. It's not so sweet.
No,
And that's what we all love about it.
Yeah.
that.
I have a feeling, man, I got to tell you, I know this is early in the game. I have a feeling we're all going to be voting for Whispering Angel.
I hope if I have anything to do with it.
I'm a big Miraval fan, so it's gonna.
Amy, you little minx. Next up is, I just bought this for the label. I don't know if it's well known, but it is called Malibu at Sunset.
Well, that sounds romantic and enticing.
Cheers.
Very sort of dry. I'm a fan of it.
okay.
A light
Ooh.
rosé.
Yeah?
That is Malibu.
Malibu,
at
it's
Sunset.
Ooh, Whispering Angel's going to get a run for its money.
Jerry did point out today that in a limo scene with Lisa Rinna, it was magic hour. For those of you who know film terms.
I do want to say the production of these reality shows has really stepped it up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm an older gentleman, a lot older than you young whippersnappers.
But not as old as Stamos.
There's his name again. All right, the counter is now at 7 times we mentioned his name.
He's on a show called Grandfathered, isn't he? You have nothing to worry about.
By the way, speaking of which, I can't tell you, this is the first time I heard of Kyle Richards' pilot getting picked up.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the wave of jealousy that came over my body.
Jerry.
I have been
my body.
chomping at the I've been pitching all week.
Guys, we've all been on television shows together.
Yes.
And the struggle is real. We've been in the trenches clawing and begging and live tweeting our way into some sort of career here. And
Live
the fact,
tweeting.
And trust me. And the fact,
You got to walk in the background of I Am Kate and try to just strike up something.
I did see her in Calabasas, and I got to tell you, I was so excited I started shaking.
Did you say something to her? I bet she knows who you are.
You know, I didn't. I do want to say I was about to take a photo of her, and then I felt like that was rude. That
I agree.
That Caitlin is not like a sideshow. That's like,
Yeah.
oh God.
Yeah.
Because I do want to say, also in Calabasas, get ready, hold on to something. Angeline lives out there, who is the famed former Billboard star of Los Angeles.
All the
Yes.
Look
greats.
it up on Google. You were talking about
Calabasas.
tiddling around.
Have a scoot around.
Scoot around on Google. Scooting around, tiddling around on Google. Just have a scoot around on Google for Angeline here in Los Angeles. Yes.
And do you see Kim and the gals?
I do. I
Did
see
you
them.
say hi to them?
You know, Rebecca, my wife, gets very upset with me because I always try and get on their show and like run into the cameras and stuff. And Rebecca's like, "Get out of there! Stop it! That's not us, please." And I'm like,
If I saw that, I'd be so happy.
you kidding
too.
me?
And
I want
I
my
feel
daughter.
like
I have 2
it
daughters.
is
I want
you
them in
guys.
the business. I asked Chris to manage them, and my wife was like, "Stop it! No."
You asked
And Chris is like, "They're a little young, you know. I wait
They
till they're
need to be at
legal
least
just so we
8.
can have like." we
She's
can
like,
make a
turn them
proper-"
around. Let me look at their.
No, she suggested that they go through like all kinds of like lip injections and stuff. This
You
is a
are
joke.
What a
Okay,
joke.
well-
Guys, our next wine is Miraval. It comes to us from Provence.
Oh.
It is Brad and Angie's rosé from their
Right.
vineyard.
That's the name of their house, correct?
yes, Miraval, where they got married. Here we go.
Okay, let me.
It's amazing.
Really?
Simply gorgeous.
Simply gorgeous.
I'm going to drink the whole thing.
I want to too. I don't want to throw this one out.
You can get a new cup. Just hold it in your mouth for a while.
Jerry?
I have to tell you, I like the wine we tried earlier.
The Malibu. better.
Malibu Sunset.
Yes.
Wow. Brad and
I,
Angie.
All right.
I
You're
thought,
not impressed by
Yeah.
Brangelina.
You know what? I thought it tasted a little affected.
As they are.
Wow.
And this is it.
This is
All
it,
right,
guys.
guys.
This is the angel.
The whisper.
Let's see
Will
what
she
you
whisper
think.
louder than Miraval?
I have to say, whispering wins it.
Oh my gosh, I was so nervous. My heart was like leapt into my throat. I felt like my reputation was on the line.
Amy, what are your thoughts? I have a feeling you were feeling the
I
Miraval.
love the angel, but I'm just, the Miraval is good times to me.
Oh,
You know, I
wow.
just have had so many good times.
And
with Miraval.
Casey, now that you've seen them all next to each other, side by side comparison.
There's no fucking comparison. The angel whispers, but I have loved the Miraval at your house, Amy, and
and I
to
will
each
try.
your own.
I will try these all tomorrow morning.
Sounds great.
Before I go into work.
Guys, let's get to the episode.
Let's
So
do it.
many thoughts. Amy, what are you thinking about this season?
I mean, I only watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, although I have started doing Potomac because I feel like you have to be there at the beginning.
Yes.
And it started when I moved here and I had a baby, and those two things were catastrophic to my social life. It meant that I was indoors a lot.
Yes.
So I will always have a soft spot for Beverly Hills, but this season has been a real snooze fest.
Yes, it has been, as we've been saying. And
That sound, I'm sorry, is us all pouring more
more
whispering angel.
whispering angel being poured constantly.
Well, take your Miraval, Amy.
You know.
Do you want
Now-
a glass of this?
No, thank you. Yeah, I am a little worried about you. How are you going to finish these 4 bottles of rosé?
She'll find a way.
Ah,
Where there's a will, there's a way.
First of all, totally off topic. You ladies all look lovely. I mean, you guys could be like, this could be like Real Housewives of East LA.
Jerry.
Wow.
Well, that's a real compliment because if I may say what you said during the episode.
Sure, you can say whatever you want. Nothing's
Okay. Well, I've
secret.
already crossed the line. You said I would fuck all of these women so hard.
Well,
Yes.
you know, they were all dressed up and getting ready to go to Mr.
Mr. Girardi's party.
Mr. Girardi's party.
It's not Erica's party. It was never Erica's party.
And they were all dressed up. And you know what? Yeah, I would fuck all of them.
You said that so daintily.
Individually, at the same time. When they're all done up like that, I mean, it's really... Now, look, I mean, obviously, they go through extensive hair and makeup, even when they're doing, like, casual scenes on the beach. That's not just, like, Lisa Rinna just, like, rolling out of bed and being like, let me put on some yoga pants I got to shoot today. That's, like... I mean, come on, guys.
Takes hours
It's
of
2
prep.
hours of hair and makeup. And, yeah, I think they all look good.
Who do you think is the hottest?
I mean, look, obviously Erica Jane when she's all done up and on stage, but then that might be a little too on the nose. God, you know who I'd really give it to is I think Eileen. Because let me tell you,
I'm having hot flashes.
Left is right, up is down. I don't know what's happening. My head's spinning.
well, I gotta tell you, because I just have a feeling like Eileen like fully hasn't like.
Is this because your wife told you look like Vincent?
Oh God, yeah. No, for those who can't see, my hair is long right now, and my wife hates. My hair being long and is like always like, God, you look just like Eileen's husband. And it's like sort of like
That's not a compliment, Jerry.
But you know what? I think Eileen like really properly hasn't like really come like hard. Like really just like a real like
I will say I believe that.
like a real like a knockout, like don't look at me. Get out of this hotel room.
Don't look at me right now, Jerry.
I just came. What the fuck happened?
Grab my whispering.
I don't
I'm a
feel
flutter.
Good.
The 3 girls are like knocking into each other, like the mics are flying. I have like
We're
the
all
pictures have come off the
red-faced.
wall. I'm like, whoo, it's hot.
Too British for this.
Amy cannot speak.
Like I have news for you. Like her voice wouldn't quiver. Like after I was done with her, like she'd be like super chill.
Wow, would she still be wearing those like camel colored jumpsuits?
You know, I think her clothes have a lot to do with also her job. She maybe pulls from the soap opera that.
Well, that's the
she
saddest
works
thing
on.
I've ever heard, Jerry.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, you guys are all performers. Like you have a wardrobe truck, so you're probably like, oh, I'm just gonna borrow this blouse for the weekend. I have a charity event. I have to
You're
go to."
attributing her bad style to the fact that she's pulling from a wardrobe truck on a soap.
On a soap, yeah.
Interesting theory.
I actually think she was dressed the best I've ever seen her dressed on that soap. So I feel like she's like, no, that's my work clothes. This is my home time fun clothes. Like, I feel like this is all her, all Eileen when she gets in like a denim romper.
Yeah.
Wow, Jerry, thank you for
Yes.
that. Those
That was
thoughts.
good. Let's talk about the dinner party at Mr. Girardi's. The Girardi party.
Well, first of all, I think we were all waiting for the fucking moment when Mr. Girardi, said to
Yeah.
Kathryn, who was clear on pills.
Just
Wait, something.
I don't know
She
enough
was
about drugs, despite my whispering angel, and despite having confessed to many pills that I've taken on,
on this show.
But
Xanax, you talk about Xanax.
yeah, well, a lot's going on. But truly, my question is, what was she on? It was something.
Something. She couldn't stop talking. It was almost like cocaine or
Adderall?
something.
I think
Yeah.
it might have been. It could have been Colana. I don't even know what it is. I don't even take them, and I'm not even making a joke. But she was definitely on something that was making her a jabbermouth.
And there was
And,
a
like,
slur.
rude and
there was a
aggressive.
slur on it.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird.
It was aggressive too,
very
like
aggro.
up in their grill.
But she has already proven herself to be completely tone deaf. The fact that she was like, that's on
And-
you. And she's very aggressive.
and really deaf.
No, she's deaf in one ear, Casey.
Guys.
It's too soon.
Sorry, guys. I
not
walked
funny.
right into that. And I apologize. I apologize.
We can cut that.
I will refuse to cut that. I refuse to cut that.
Oh God, we were also a little offended by the hearing test that she was given in that.
Well, just because it wasn't the hearing test, it was literally
Them laying in the
laying
beeps.
in the beeps. That was not captured on camera or in their mics.
This season is such a wash that we saw it tonight. The editors, and I feel like they really fucked us tonight. They set it up as though Mr. Girardi was going to tell Kathryn to get out of his house. It was Lisa.
And he said it almost jokingly
It was a joke.
because
Yeah,
she
it was
had
the
to
end
go.
of
They knew that she had an out time at 9:00, and she was like, "I gotta go," and he's like, "Get out of here! Like,
was the
get
end of
out of
the
here,
night.
girl!" It was so manipulative on Bravo's part. We were angry. All of us were angry.
I felt like, why are you doing that to us?
Like, this whole season.
I know. And they have nothing, so they're manufacturing things, and we're the ones that are paying for it.
I have a theory about Lisa Rinna throwing the glass last season. Is
Ooh.
that Lisa Rinna, who also the bulk of her career was spent in soap operas, knew exactly that was a moment to be ultra dramatic, and knew throwing a glass down would be like almost like soap opera-esque. And that soap operas really sort of, that's why Lisa's so good at this show, is because she's lived in soap operas and knows how to give the drama.
I actually think she's not good at this show. I think she was working so hard that it makes the show worse. Like,
When she said, I've got trust issues through the roof, I thought we were going to finally hear something about her life or like get to something. Really, she's talking about, I don't even...
Jolanda, like all of a sudden, all this came spilling out about Jolanda and how Yolanda's the biggest manipulator on the show. And also, speaking of trust issues, I feel like I have trust issues now with Bravo. I don't trust what I see in an ad now. I don't like that.
I don't either.
Yeah, that was really anticlimactic, and that was manipulative. As we said earlier, for 7 days, I've been waiting to see Mr. Girardi kick Kathryn out of that house, and
what is that? How does that manifest? Just every day you're kind of like saying to yourself, like, 6 more days.
no, it's
Counting
just
down
like me.
on your calendar, putting an X mark through the day.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
An advent calendar.
Wednesday.
It's just like me driving, like, oh, Mr. Girardi's gonna give it to her good. It's coming up. Oh God, and just texting like my wife and like you guys and saying 5 more days. Here we go. Oh, I can feel it.
I mean, Mr. Girardi at that party, I feel like he was like, I've been portrayed by Albert Finney. What the hell is happening? But I don't like the way he speaks to Erica.
I don't. And I remember last episode, I think our friend June Diane said she thought it was like a playful game they play of him shutting her down. But I feel like we saw on this episode that it's not some game. He doesn't let her speak. And then she made that even more clear when she said, my husband doesn't allow that type of behavior.
Yeah.
Allow that behavior?
No, that's clearly their deal. I mean, Jerry was saying, like, it must cost millions of dollars to do what she does, and that's the deal. She shuts up.
I mean, it is crazy. When they went on tour and played at that club in San Diego a couple episodes ago, I was literally, we were looking at that bus, we were looking at that glam squad. I mean, that is a bigger entourage, I'm not even making a joke, than Madonna probably rolls with. Like, Madonna probably rolls with a costumer and
Not
a
her
hair
son.
and makeup team.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no, wow.
Not Rocco, anyway.
No, I'm sorry, guys.
anytime
It's ripped
soon.
from the headline. The angel's whispering. Go on. Go
Casey
on.
gets a little saucy when the angel whispers.
Go on.
But, I mean, that trip to San Diego alone probably cost $200,000.
Yeah.
I mean,
Worth every penny.
now, Mr. Girardi is funding that, obviously. I mean, I think
he's getting what he paid for, though.
so. I mean, does that give him the right to sort of be a little controlling over her? I don't think so.
No, I don't
Jerry
think
just
so.
looked at our faces like, does that give her the right? And she saw all of our faces and changed his answer real quick. I don't think so.
I don't think so. But
But you're not sure?
He and some others would say that gives him the right to sort of be the boss of the house. I mean, this isn't. Well, obviously they both get something out of the relationship. He is he's footing a pretty significant bill for this.
So you
young
don't
lady.
think she's making any money? Like, none of that is paid for, you're saying, from her European pop hits?
Hey guys, we've all like traveled and performed and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes. If there's a dinner theater, I've been in it.
Danielle and I are making like $1 on this podcast. So go on.
I mean,
and happily so.
Yes.
Okay, let's just say you're going to play a 2,000 seat theater in San Diego, which is entirely possible for everyone here. Okay,
Thank you.
it is on the higher end.
Yes.
But let's just say you're going to play 2,000 seat house. I mean, that would mean you're taking the train to San Diego by yourself, and your hair and makeup is you with the motel hairdryer that is attached to the wall.
You know me well, Jerry.
And your
know me
makeup
well.
is
Jerry,
whatever
go
old
on.
lip gloss, whatever old lip gloss you found like in your like glove compartment that's still
So
hot.
far
Yeah,
off.
Jerry, I've got NARS and some
got some nice
Armani
makeup,
foundation.
I mean, I'm not a nightmare. I'm not an animal.
But you know what I'm saying is like that's not real life. Like
No.
that whole situation. And Mr. Girardi is obviously footing that. And, you know, I'm going to go as far as to say is maybe it's a very controlling relationship, but maybe they're both very happy with the situation. They
Everything
seem-
okay with you guys? Okay, I want to segue on the topic of makeup because you had a lot to say about Jolander's makeup.
As she is known in the
Jolander.
Nook, she is known as Jolander.
Well, first of all, I do a perfect Yolanda Foster imitation.
Yes, Jerry
Really?
came in guns a-blazing,
Guns
told me
a-blazing.
that he could kill my Yolanda impression in
Well,
two...
you read the email last week in
Yeah.
Yolanda's voice.
Yeah,
and
well,
you did
in
it
more of a
as-
Nazi, but yes.
It was really like something out of Sound of Music.
Yeah, it was not great. Not great.
It was actually it was offensive to anyone who's Dutch. Or, but yeah, I mean,
was
I have
good.
theories
It was
on this.
good.
You want me to go through my theories?
Please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yolanda has not worn makeup this entire season, and I have a big problem with that. I realize Yolanda is.
This is not a safe space, as we have said before, so...
Yeah, these views aren't represented by all of us. Go on.
Look, I mean, Yolanda's in a hit basic cable television show. She can throw on some concealer. I mean, the girl has also modeled for decades.
Tough.
And you are married to a model, so you know what you speak.
You know, and I'm going to say, you know, my wife does not wear a lot of makeup. But if my wife knows that my wife is going to be photographed or even filmed for a major basic cable television show, my wife is going to throw on some makeup.
Yeah.
And even
Not just a raggedy green sweater.
but I mean, it's also like my theory is this, and it's a little crazy.
Yeah. Hold on to your hat.
Yeah, everyone, again.
Yolanda knew things were not going to work out with her and her husband, David Foster, and that can be very upsetting. And
Yeah, it can be.
and Yolanda is sort of her storyline and story arc. That, I mean, I think Yolanda's not, I don't want to say looking for sympathy, but wants to make sure that in this divorce that, you know, I mean, it's tough to leave someone who's on their deathbed, you know? I mean, maybe this is a reaction to not get divorced, you know? I'm really sick right now. You can't leave me. I'm on my deathbed. I'm dying. I can't get out of bed. Maybe it's that reaction. So in some ways, I do believe this Munchausen story a little bit.
But what came first, the chicken or the egg in this situation? And I don't have a theory, but it felt like David was leaving her because of the sickness. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't like the medicine and the doctors and her not being able to do the dinner parties and the Malibu and take care of the house and kind of have the perfect life that he pictured. And so in my mind, that's why he was kind of leaving. So it's like a catch-22.
Or are you saying, Jerry, that you think she's leaning into it?
Oh man, and I look, I'm by no means a marriage specialist. I mean, believe me, my wife and I have the worst. I mean, it's a nightmare. We would love, my wife and I would love to get divorced, but neither one of us wants our children, so we like just stick it out. We are like, my wife and I are 1 3-day weekend away from just blowing this whole thing up, like full on OJ, heads being chopped off. I don't know who's killing who. We went on a vacation
Like
this
a
year.
murder-suicide? Or?
We went on a vacation this year, and like, so we stayed at this resort, and like, we would like take walks at night on the beach, and literally we'd look at each other, and we'd be like, what started as a Dateline mode, we'd be like, what started as a romantic walk on the beach?
You guys like to play
murder.
Dateline with each
Well,
other?
it's just like, there's drinking involved, there's just fighting and children, and it's a hot mess, and like,
Sounds amazing.
I can't wait to see this.
And by the
Ryan
way-
Murphy get his hands on this
I'd
story.
like everyone to
and
know
then
these two
Fuller
have an
House-
amazing. And then Fuller House
Fuller House
debuts.
comes out, and it's just like it's nonstop.
Grandfathered and Fuller House.
Wow, you're really.
I gotta say,
And then you're taking your shirt off and stripping in malls with women.
these two have an amazing marriage. I'm gonna pipe in with that from what I've seen. Amy, what are your theories on Jolander?
I do think Jerry's not wrong on this.
Wow, Amy coming in hard.
I have felt that she is definitely channeling a Princess Diana vibe, which may or may not be related to makeup, but certainly this season she's acted very much like a benevolent friend who's like, I'm above this. And it's very Princess Di when she was going through the divorce with Prince Charles, and she did the whole interview and she like did the coy eyes and the nation was like, you're the people's princess. And I don't know. I think that's an interesting theory that she knew what was coming. And so this season she is being very kind of not down and dirty with the girls, you know, because she wants to be above the shit.
Well, Amy did surprise me when we first saw Jolander in today's episode, and she was in the robe, and Amy's like, "Ugh, I'm so sick of her in that robe." And that was really a Jolander impression instead of a British accent. Although I'm laughing that, of course, you're British and brought up Princess
Diana. Well, I feel like I felt like I took that seriously because I'm like, well, she knows Princess Diana. Obviously, they knew each other. Everyone in Britain knows each other.
Also, Yolanda doesn't do her hair all season. I mean, it's just like.
But then we saw in previews for next season, which you were like, thank fucking God she did her goddamn hair. Jerry was up in arms.
in arms.
I mean, look.
Would you still have sex with her?
Definitely, yeah. even totally Lyme disease, like tired.
No
I mean,
concealer?
obviously not in like a Bill Cosby, she's unconscious and weak sort of way. That is, if she's like too weak or anything like that, no. Is that what you mean?
No, we
like
just
she has
meant,
Lyme
are you
disease.
sexually-
Well, what if you do think she's faking being weak?
Look, I'm not. Obviously, people suffer from Lyme disease every day in this world, and it's very serious. It's a serious problem, and I hope that they find a cure someday. But that said, I have to say, while Yolanda still could be testing positive for Lyme and the brain thing that's happening, there was some sort of mention of the brain disease in the email. I think this sickness is also being used as something. Is
A way to get
is a
sympathy?
parallel for another aspect of her life, and more specifically her marital situation.
Preach.
Wow.
That's
Coming in
how I'm
hard.
breaking
Johnny
down.
Cochran here.
Yeah, right?
I really feel, look, even people with Lyme disease who suffer every day, I pray for you, but people with Lyme disease can go to Supercuts and get a blowout. They can go to Blow Bar. They can go there. I've been there. For $20, you get a blowout. If I have a big important meeting, or I know I have to be camera ready, I will go get a blowout or something, because I can't just go in there and rag them up
Jerry.
in hair.
Okay, Jerry.
Okay, and I got to tell you, I've been
Jerry.
very tired. Like, more tired than Yolanda is for a lot of these tapings.
I don't know, Jerry. You do have twins, but I don't know, Jerry. If you have Lyme, are you taking your top off in every scene?
I want to tell you something. I grew up in the northeastern United States, in Long Island, where a lot of people, I think Lyme came from actually Connecticut, from a town called Lyme. But in Long Island in the 80s, it was a big deal. And both my brother and I went on cycles of antibiotics because we had Lyme disease, and we went on, we took the horse pills for like however long you take them, 3 weeks or something. And, that was it. I haven't been tested for Lyme since then. But
Because you don't have it. I mean, people do have it, I think.
Also,
but
if you get it early, if you attack it early, I think sometimes there are better cases or something like that.
Okay, guys, this isn't like the doctors or Dr. Phil or whatever. That's not, okay? You can save this for Dr. Oz. What I'm saying, here's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I believe Yolanda is really leaning into and actually really dramatically playing up her symptoms for this debilitating disease called Lyme because of her personal life. Most specifically, her marriage with David Foster, that while they were shooting this was crumbling.
Okay.
Okay. There you
hear
have
you.
it. And I don't know that you're wrong. I think you might be onto something.
We've seen signs that point to things of that nature, but who's to say? Who's to know? We aren't in there.
And
We
by the
can
way, they're not addressing the fact that they have a bad marriage. The previews for next week's episode show them like, I love you, baby. We're going to make some lemonade.
That was the worst. To watch that, it almost made me cry. And again, I know I've cried at weird times of Real Housewives previews, but I felt terrible because it felt like her voice was quivering during that as if she knew something. She knows. She keeps toasting him in a way.
Well, and I think
that
they
she
filmed
knows.
Lisa's testimonials after the fact, and Lisa's now building her case, being like, something else is going on here. And I just think she knows, and she's trying to weirdly lay that on. Oh, we have to talk about when Eileen was like, do you think it would be uncomfortable if I just went over and told them all to get together? At the painting, at the Habitat for Humanity painters party when Kyle was in a Puma wedge, as you pointed out, Jerry.
And a white overall. You know, these are like my do-gooding overalls when I get down with the people.
And Maurizio was in a backwards cap, and the two of them were on the roof like Lucy and Ricky.
Oh, she really fancies herself to be a comedic sidekick.
Well, she's getting more parts than us, Danielle.
I know. She got an entire thing.
I'm still not. I'm literally about to run. When I leave
calling
this,
your agent
when
as
I
we
leave
speak.
this, I'm gonna go punch a wall somewhere. I'm livid. I'm gonna go jump off the top of the Capitol Records building.
As you should. As you should, because this is terrible news for all of us and great news for Kyle.
This is crazy. Look, I love Kyle Richards. I'm very happy for all the housewives and all the Bravo celebrities. But the fact that they're having a better pilot season than me, I'm literally.
Nene has been on Broadway twice.
I may become a
two times Danielle, 0.
And Nene was on like Cirque du Soleil, and she was like, I don't know my lines on like the first night. And she was like, they keep asking me to learn them.
Brandy Glanville is in the new Tarantino movie.
What?
I made that up.
No, Jerry.
How
you got
dare
it.
you? How dare you?
I cycled through my whole life. I saw my grandparents walking with me on the beaches. I saw my death. I saw it all. And what I came to was like, yeah, she is. I was okay with it. Amy, I want to ask you, what do you love about The Housewives? Like, why are you guys watching this? Why is it so addicting to you personally?
Well, when I was first watching it, I watched it for the reasons that I used to watch The Hills, which was to find fancy restaurants to go to.
Interesting.
Wow.
That is why I used to watch it.
Yeah, I get it.
Because I'm an idiot.
No, that's a better reason than
that's
I
an
did.
amazing
I
reason.
used to come out to LA on business trips. I'd be like, I need to know what restaurant to go to. I'll just see where Justin Bobby is. and then I'll know.
And you found out.
Like,
Justin Bobby.
but I think when I moved out here, my mom is so like Lisa Vanderpump that it almost became like a kind of mom.
Oh, I hear that. I hear that.
And I was just like, oh.
And do you know Pandy by any chance? I
don't
run
know
in
Pandy.
any circle again.
I don't know Pandy, but I did used to go to Lisa and Ken's nightclub in London, Shadow Lounge.
Shadow.
Which was one of the hot clubs in London circa 2004.
Thank you for this information. I would love to go there.
We used to go like all the time to Shadow Lounge.
Wow, Lisa's had a life, huh?
He has. No wonder
They
they
had
so
really
much money.
successful clubs in England. They had a couple of clubs in London that were really like places where, you know, people actually wanted to go, not like pump and
Yeah, the like.
you know, like proper legit, like it would be like a big night out. Like my boss would take us to Shadow Lounge and he'd be like getting bottle service and we'd be like interns going, whoa, this is amazing.
Who knew?
Amy has turned me on. Aside from Whispering Angel, my other biggest indulgence is the Daily Mail app.
Yeah. Sorry
Okay,
about
you have
that.
to download Daily Mail app.
They always have the info first. As we've said, we thought it was Radar, but it's Daily Mail.
Daily Mail. And Amy's, when you gave me I was messing around with the Us Weeklies
mean,
and the
you
this
were
is
on
and the
People,
that's.
it
I was
was a mess,
people.com. Okay, and no offense to our dear People editor who's a fan. But I would say that Daily Mail, and you have to click on US Showbiz. Sorry, Amy. And,
otherwise
and I mean, the
Otherwise, we're going to
news.
learn about reality stars from London and who the hell are these
The
people?
news keeps coming. Daily Mail app, download
I
it.
don't have it yet. I need to get
Yeah.
on
So
it.
it's a one-stop shop.
It's a one-stop.
And you do have all the info lately. Casey is constantly texting me new info, and I'm like, what?
It's right
And
at my
the Daily
fingertips.
Mail.
It's Daily Mail. Thank you, Amy, for that.
You're welcome. I hate myself.
Me too.
No,
it's horrible.
and-
Amy also got me into Ladies of London.
I
No
love those
surprise.
ladies. I love those ladies.
Honestly, Ladies of London is better than Beverly Hills by far. If anyone's looking for something fun, Ladies
Ladies
of London.
is fantastic. I don't watch this as religiously as Real Housewives, but I really like it a lot.
There's some real doozers on there.
There are some real great.
Jerry, what else have you got for us? I mean, I know you've got some other theories.
We were having some fun theories about everyone's hairdos on the show and how God, I'm talking about hair way too much.
Hey, talk about what you know.
Do you watch any of the other Housewives? Do you watch New York?
Watch Atlanta, watch New York, watch Orange County.
What's your favorite?
So all of them.
I have to say, my wife and really, my wife is the super fan, and I'm shocked my wife has not been on Bitch Sesh yet.
We'll have to have her on.
Gotta have her on.
Open
Would she
invitation.
ever be on the show?
It's funny. I've actually asked her a couple times because we know Andy Cohen pretty well, and my wife just won't go for that.
Yeah,
because it's
too
funny. Because
cool for that.
sometimes, my wife is too cool for it. Because my wife is like, my wife came from the modeling world before my wife went into Hollywood, and the modeling fashion world is all about. You have to be the coolest person in order to get the cover of Vogue. And the only way to get the cover of Vogue is if Anna Wintour is in awe of your coolness. And in order to do that, you can't be doing reality shows, you can't say yes. You say no to everything. And when you say no to everything, then you say yes to the best. And there's something
that's really words of wisdom. When you say no to everything, you say yes to the best.
I've been saying yes to everything.
Listen, you and me both. You kidding me? If there's a game show that you guys called me over this podcast. I was like, I'll be there. Yeah.
That's right. You said yes to the best.
And I think doing reality television. Well, the thing is, I thought we'd be great at it. We'd be really fun. My wife and I get into some sick fights.
Yeah, we've heard.
Sick.
I'm worried.
Borderline physical fights, but it would make for amazing TV.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
We'd just be really good at it. We'd be really fun, and it'll never happen.
Amy, would you and your husband, Drew, be good for reality? No, I'd be horrible.
So dull.
Oh, my husband and I would be terrible. We used to watch The Amazing Race and be like, we'd never make it through a season. We'd be divorced by the end because one of us would be driving, one of us would be crying, and that would be the end.
Well, and I don't know, we can cut this if you don't want me to say this, but when you had your baby and you got your epidural at 1 centimeter.
Yes, I can't stand pain. That's fine.
So I don't know if
I literally was
Amazing Race.
huffing and puffing and screaming, and I was like, the baby's coming. They're like, you're 1 centimeter.
Danielle was like, she's here.
I was like, I'm gonna have this thing in the car. They're like, we want to send you home.
My husband and I are in quite a spot where today he's like, sad thing happened last night. I'm like, what? He's like, I don't know if I can tell you. I'm like, what? He's like, well, I ordered a cheeseburger, and then I ate it in bed. Then I fell asleep, and when I turned on my side, a sharp crumb got in my eye. A sharp crumb. I was like, what is happening? He's like, is my eye red from that sharp crumb? So I don't know that we would be lighting up, the airwaves.
I will say something that's interesting about reality television, because they had that dinner scene there, and it was obviously... they love to get people... The best stuff happens when people are drunk.
Yes.
And, my brother, you'll never remember this, was The Bachelor.
Oh, I remember.
Of course I remember this. How could we not have talked about that, Jerry?
And, I actually spent time later seasons going to watch The Bachelor being shot in that house in Calabasas, where they have transformed the garage into sort of a media center.
A command station, really.
Where they have, about 4 or 5 issues going on that they're filming simultaneously. And I was asked to go shoot something there for ABC. And they said, can you go there at 10 p.m.? And I said, 10 p.m.? That's crazy. It's a Sunday night. I have kids. And they went, well, that's when our day starts. And I went, what? And they went, oh, we're shooting The Bachelor. We start at 10 p.m. and we end at 5 a.m.
Wow.
And I stayed there for a few hours, and these girls were wasted. Yeah. And I got to tell you, I left there at 1. And someone should have come in and said, you got to stop shooting. These girls are too drunk. You can't put this on camera.
Yeah.
And they had another 4 hours in their day. And they were getting ready. That's why when you watch these shows, people are like, oh, God. You would be too if you hadn't slept in 48 hours.
And that party at Mr. Girardi, I was like, I can tell it's 2 a.m. It just felt late.
Well, and also I just feel like they're getting a little lazy with the filming. This whole fight erupts with Kathryn, and I'm like, wait, what was the beginning of this? I feel like we came in at the middle to end. It was just crazed. I was like, what are we even fighting about anymore in this episode? I don't understand any of it.
It's kind of, I can't believe I'm saying this, it's kind of lazy producing. There's no good storyline for these arguments.
There isn't.
God bless.
So it's kind of always Eileen being like, Casey. I can't do
here
an
we go.
Eileen.
What do you want me to
Eileen.
say?
Should I go tell her something terrible?
Should I go tell her something terrible's happening?
But I also want to say, this storyline with the Munchausen disease, am I saying that right? The Munchausen
Yeah.
disease is very similar to the Brooks storyline that happened in the
Yes.
Orange County.
But you're acting as though they're writing the storylines. Do you think that the producers are writing storylines?
I do. I do. I think too much
Amy,
is-
you too?
Yeah.
I'm so naive.
I am too. I'm always like, no, how could they? This is real life. Like, I am so naive when it comes
Me
to this
too.
stuff. When people say the Housewives are fake, like, why do you watch the Housewives are fake? I'm like, you shut your hole.
And I don't agree. And I
I
don't
think
agree
it's
with
real.
either of you. Amy, why do you think this?
I have worked in reality TV, so I do know some of the things that go on.
But with the Housewives, I feel like that
mean,
one's
Like they're
pure.
special. They're
it's an hour
pure.
of television. You have to construct it in some way. You can't just let them go and just go, oh, they might do some shit that's cool. They might just hang out and have some more iced tea. Be
There's a
friends.
lot of iced tea. There's
So much lemonade. Oh, what about the Cokes?
Coca-Cola.
Cokes.
Jerry, you
placement.
pointed out the girls were drinking Coke. It's like none of them are drinking Coca-Cola Classic.
Well, it's just
There's water in those Coke cans.
I mean, we live pretty much Beverly Hills adjacent.
Yeah, Lisa
especially
Rinna won't have a bite of ice. Like, there's no way she's having a Coke.
there's no way. I mean, listen, I'm like borderline healthy, and I wouldn't probably not drink a soda. You know,
No, you're not even having rosé. I'm impressed. Is that because of your figure?
Because you have to be
Are you
shirtless in
watching
a
your
mall.
figure?
no,
I do need to be losing weight for a role, and I'm drinking rosé like it's going out of style. And this is just a sidebar. I'd like diet advice from Jerry.
I mean, look, this isn't Dr. Oz, but you should really
Not drink the rosé.
you should drink like water and
Yeah.
like I don't know, Jamba Juice or something.
Jamba
No, that's
juice.
that Jamba Juice is full of sugar.
Yeah.
So I hear. I remember Britney Spears was always drinking them.
Guys, is there anything else anyone wants to add? Any thoughts about the Housewives? Anything?
Well, I feel like you've both been wonderful and said wonderful things.
Yeah.
And
This has been almost a contemplative episode. We really got into it.
we've heard some real thoughts, especially about Jolanda. And
Someone here said, and I'm not going to say who, that Kyle and Kim both smoke a pack a day. Could that be true?
I mean, Kim, yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle? I don't know. She's a wild card sometimes. Oh, and we did also hear, I know last week we said that Kyle always looks best when she's in her house. And we have heard from a source that she does have special lighting in her house. So
well,
FYI,
she looks great.
she always looks fantastic for a reason. It's not natural.
Yeah. It's tough when they go to other places like doctor's office.
Yeah. Or the reunions.
I'll tell you, Kathryn should not be in that dark plum lip. And that's just, I'll leave you guys with that.
Yeah, and that's a thought
In
to
her
ponder.
testimonial.
But you guys, it's been wonderful. We'd love to thank our guests.
Our guest, Amy Barham. You can follow her on Twitter, Miss Amy Barham.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sorry.
Instagram.
I'm sorry. Follow
Instagram.
Amy on
She's not on
Instagram.
Twitter anymore.
She's not like grandma and grandma
Yeah,
over here.
well, that's all I know is Twitter.
What are the tweeters doing?
Yeah, they're twitting around my head. And then Mr. Jerry O'Connell.
What an honor. There's a saying in sports radio: first time, long time, first time caller, long time listener.
Oh, wow. Thanks,
Really,
Jerry.
really, and a real honor to be here.
Gosh, it was really an honor to hear your thoughts.
And everyone, we appreciate all your thoughts on Instagram, all the things that you've said to us.
on Twitter, on Facebook, I'm getting it. People are stopping me in the streets and
Someone-
shaking me and saying they've, spotted Harry Hamlin at like a hamburger Hamlet. Like,
Oh, that's something we didn't talk about. Harry Hamlin's not in any of these episodes, man.
that's because I think after he did Mad Men, he's trying to establish himself as like above his wife's diaper commercials.
But I also saying someone put Casey and I's faces in a Whispering Angel wine bottle, and I would just like to say thank you.
She's
for
an
that.
angel.
She really is. It made me feel so beautiful.
I'm gonna put it on Instagram and credit
Oh,
her.
yes,
It was
please
so
do.
wonderful. Guys, Whispering Angel, Miraval.
Oh, you know what? I want to thank Karen.
Yes,
Yes,
always.
The dinner.
Always.
Karen, who works here, puts this all together.
Karen Hassinger, our trusted assistant and historian of the
yes,
Housewives.
sort of manages the Nook.
She really does. Guys,
Thanks, guys.
Amy, any final thoughts?
No, just,
Happy to
on
be here.
keeping on.
Keeping on. Bye, guys.
Bye,
This has been
guys.
great. Goodbye.
This is Stephen Dubner from Question of the Day, where every week James Altucher and I attempt to answer your questions. And all this week, our very special guest questioner is Brian Koppelman. Brian is one of the creators of the hit show Billions and way more. We talk time management, Uber drivers, and of course, what it is like to help create a hit show.
They pay me $1 squillion. I just want to give it to you straight. It's $1 squillion off the
We
top.
also knew that was
That's like with podcasts.
Yeah, we got usually about 3/4 of $1 squillion. Subscribe to Question of the Day on iTunes, and you can listen on earwolf.com or via your favorite podcasting app.
This has been an Earwolf production, executive produced by Scott Aukerman, Adam Sachs, and Chris Bannon. For more information and content, visit earwolf.com.